2 linesmen and 2. I know they did that in JV. Welcome everyone, this is the semifinal for the IHSHL North Central Gold Division, Evanston versus New Trier. It's a 1-game playoff, so they win, they play again at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Looks like Thomas Feeney will be in net for Evanston. Evanston has all 15 skaters today and 3 goalies, so full strength. So Feeney in net, like I said, looks like it'll be Brown and Neal on the blue line. And we'll wait to see for the front line. The game also has 2 referees and 2 linesmen, so it might affect the state of play here. Okay, so it looks like the front line has Kaiser, Nicholson, and Donald. Nicholson takes the face off. Neal. Nicholson comes back, gains possession. Revs up, crosses center line. Nicholson in the corner. Nicholson now along the boards, throws it back behind the net. Donald in the corner. Donald and Nicholson fight for it in the corner. Not far enough back. New Trier has it for a second. Kaiser now. Kaiser back to the corner. Nicholson goes behind the net. Puck pops out to Neal. Neal throws it in, back into the zone. New Trier now. Kaiser on the forecheck. Now Donald. Luke Brown. Backhands to Nicholson. Nicholson. Over the red. Wernick comes out. There's pressure on the puck. Takes it. Wernick along the boards. Puck comes back to Friese. Friese goes and chases to the corner. Centering pass by New Trier. Shot blocked by Titus Lee. Elliot Alvarez comes out with it. Alvarez. Shot. Frizzy at the blue line. Miller knocks it. Puck gets by him though. Saved by Feeney. Alvarez passes it to Lee. Cross ice to Wernick. Wernick enters his own. Puck knocked away to the corner. Wernick. Luke Brown poke checks it away. Titus Lee gains possession. Lee backhands it in the zone. Icing's waved off. Trier along the short board. Nicholson now. Nicholson throws it in deep. Grabs behind New Trier's net. Dono on the forecheck. Puck clear by New Trier. For an ice. Looks like it'll stay Nicholson, Kaiser, Donald up front, Neal and Brown on D. Nicholson at the dot. Puck goes back to the corner. New Trier throws it out to Neal. Luke Brown takes it away in neutral zone. Up to Donald. Kaiser intercepts. Kaiser throws it in deep. Nicholson on the forecheck. Donald comes over to help. Puck cleared out into the neutral zone by Nate Trier. Eli Neal back to retrieve. Neal over to Brown. Brown up to Nicholson. Nicholson lays it forward for Kaiser. Brown now. Brown throws it in deep. Donald backhands it up to Nicholson in the corner. Nicholson throws it behind the net for Donald. Donald tries to center it up front for Press. Press in the corner. Press passes it to Donald. Shot is deflected. Press on the forecheck. Nicholson now. Press behind the net. Press centers it. Frizzy keeps in his zone momentarily, now skates it out. Frizzy up to Beelan. Frizzy back on knee. Frizzy saved by Feeney. Press in the corner. Press knocks the puck away. Miller now. Frizzy with pressure on the puck, backed up by Shulkin. Puck comes around into the corner. Miller. Puck taken away. Shot. Ooh. Great save by Feeney on the short shot. Miller backhands out of his zone. Beelan now on the puck, backed up by Shulkin. Miller tries to throw it forward. Wernick in pursuit. Wernick on the forecheck. Puck pass intercepted by Brown. Trier waits to tag up. Now comes into the zone. Trier shot high. Puck wraps around out of the zone. Wernick on the forecheck. Wernick. Alvarez. Puck comes down Brown's side. Brown blocks the shot with his leg. Alvarez with pressure in the corner along with Neal. Trier in the far corner. Alvarez with pressure. Next up to Wernick. Wernick out of the zone in the neutral zone. Up to Titus Lee. Puck intercepted. Thrown in deep by Trier. Neal along the far boards. Alvarez out of the zone. Wernick on the forecheck. Alvarez now with pressure on the puck. Eli Neal. Brown comes over. Eli Neal throws it out of the zone. Luke Brown goes back. Icing on New Trier. Evanston changes out. It'll be Miller and Friese at the blue line. Nicholson taking the face off. Kaiser to his right. Donald to his left. Kaiser wrapping it up. Backhands it to Nicholson behind the net. Nicholson surveys, changes direction, pass to Kaiser. Shot deflected. Miller pinches. Nicholson over to Donald. Donald shooting for the tip. Miller wraps it around. Donald on the short board. Backhands it up to Friese. Friese to Miller. Miller. Shot block. Nicholson. Kaiser now. Kaiser in the corner. Kaiser out to Miller. Miller throws it behind the net. New Trier tries to wrap around. Friese comes up, keeps the puck in, squirts out. Miller in the neutral zone. Over to Donald. Donald's pass. Over to Nicholson. Nicholson pitchforks it into the zone and goes for a change. Kaiser now. Kaiser on the forecheck, comes away with it. Kaiser with possession, sending it to Wernick. Wernick, shot off the post. New Trier skies it into their own bench.
Come on, good job.
Is that delay of game? Looks like it'll be Brown and Neal on the blue line. Alvarez at the dot. Lee to his right. Wernick to his left. Lee. Wernick now. Wernick circles, tries to shoot. Puck knocked up in the air and Neal comes with it. Neal hand pass to Wernick, so there's a whistle. Puck will come out to the neutral zone for the face-off off the hand pass. Same 5 stay out for the face-off. Alvarez wraps up. Wernick comes in, gains possession. Lee keeps it in. Lee throws it in the far corner. Alvarez chases. Puck comes around to Brown. Brown pinches, keeps it in momentarily. Neal goes back. Neal, you need to move so you can see better. Neal gets it up to Wernick. Alvarez there, backing him up. New Trier now behind the net. That comes out to the point. Lee blocks the pass. Neal to the corner. Wernick comes down. Alvarez up on the point. Alvarez with pressure. New Trier evacuates the zone and then shoot back in. Neal in the corner, backed up by Wernick. Wernick comes down. Alvarez now. Neal with pressure on the puck. Alvarez now. Shot by New Trier. Wernick with pressure on the puck. Puts it out of the zone and gains possession. Takes it over the red. Evanston's changes up. Friese now. Deep pressure. Miller comes over now. Puck intercepted by Shulkin. Shulkin over to Friese. Friese over to Bostwick. Elliot Bostwick. Bostwick backhand to Miller. Miller takes it up. Throws into the zone. No ice. Shulkin on forecheck. Dumoulin. Lang intercepts the pass. Friese. Puck comes down. Miller on D. Saved by Feeney. Straight out by Miller. Lang in the corner. Lang leaves it for Miller. Miller behind his own net, over to Frizy. Frizy up to Bostwick. Puck stays in. Miller. Oh! Somehow saved by Keeney at the end of his stick. Lang goes over. Lang in the corner. Miller now. Lang tries to get over to Bostwick. Miller throws it to the board. Cleared out by Schulte on Lang. Icing on Evanston. Great save there by Feeney. Evanston now changes up. Counters with Nicholson at the dot. Neal and Brown and T. Kaiser and Donald. Nicholson brings it over to Neal. Neal on the board. Nicholson with pressure on the puck. Nicholson goes short board, takes the puck away, skates it out of his own. Nicholson pass save. Oh! Nicholson shot save. I'm not in the way, right? Same five stay out there for Evanston in the offensive zone. Face off. Nicholson leaves it for Kaiser. Kaiser shot. Oh! Nicholson goal! Wasn't sure if that was Kaiser or Nicholson backing it up, but they got the goal. Yeah, oh exactly, yeah. Okay, and after the goal, the same five will stay out there. Nicholson, Kaiser, Donald up front. Neal and Brown on D. Puck comes back to Brown. Brown skates it up, shoots it in. Donald, Nicholson gains possession. Nicholson, shot, blocked. Neal. Puck is blocked out to neutral zone where Luke Brown gets it. Passes it up to Donald, who puts it back to Brown. Over to Neal. Up to Nicholson. Brown. Skates it over the red line, throws it in. Covered up by Nutrier. On the face-off. Looks like Evanston will change up. It'll be Alvarez at the dot with Wernick and Lee, and then Miller and Frizy at D. Puck comes over to Lee. Lee backhands it up to Alvarez. Alvarez with pressure in the corner. Frizy keeps it in. Puck comes down, Miller's side. Miller goes behind the net to retrieve. Keeps it. Wraps it around to the point. Wernick skates it out. Wernick, pass over to Lee. Can't quite connect. Alvarez then with pressure. Wernick, Frizy keeps it in. Frizy backhands it in. Wernick with pressure on the puck. Comes over to Miller's side. Frizy goes behind the net. Now Wernick in the corner, backed up by Alvarez and Miller. Wernick. Miller. Alvarez now. Alvarez gets pulled down. Miller misses. Wernick. Oh! Save, blocker side save by Feeney. Glove save by Feeney. Evanston changes up. It'll be Brown and Neal back on D. And then Nicholson. Kaiser, and Donald up front. Oh wait, no, there's a penalty on Alvarez there. 2-minute penalty on Elliot Alvarez. So new Trier's on the power play. And Nicholson and Kaiser out there. Frizy, Keeney gobbles that shot up. 1:49 left on the new Trier power play. Neal, Brown, Kaiser, and Nicholson out there. Nicholson at the dot. Nicholson moves it over to Neal. Puck goes down the corner. Trier shot is blocked. Comes over to the near side. Kaiser. Neal goes back behind the net. And Trier skates behind. Brown, Kaiser. And Trier's pass goes into the neutral zone. Nicholson on the forecheck. Nicholson forces it away. Nicholson takes possession. Up to Kaiser. Kaiser has it. End of the first period. Evanston 1-0, still 1:06 left on the Evanston penalty kill. Okay, second period about to begin. 1:06 left on the Evanston penalty kill. It's Lee, Donald, Miller, and Frizy out there. Miller on the puck. Keeney with the save. Same forestay out there for the faceoff. Donald, Lee, Frizy, Miller. Donald at the dot. Puck comes over towards Miller. Tip that one. Lee now. Lee along the short board, gets it out. The neutral zone and chases. Donald now with pressure on the puck. Deflects that one. Lee. Donald now. Puck thrown in. Miller goes back. Miller self-pass. Can't get by. Now he does. Puck comes out. Donald. Back to Frizy. Frizy gets it out of the zone. Donald with pressure now. Donald on the forecheck. 15 seconds left in the PK. Frizy now on D. Frizy pushes him wide. Miller comes over. Lee now. Donald. Miller now. Evanston at full strength. Miller goes back. Miller in the corner. Tries to get it up. Gets a reverse on him. Frizy wraps it around to Donald. Donald along the board, skates it out. Donald gets up to Lee. Titus Lee. Battle along the boards. Lutrier gets it out. Elliot Alvarez. Alvarez tries to backhand it back into the zone. Lee throws it in deep, wraps it around. Wernick now in the far corner with pressure. Nicholson. Neal gets it at center ice. Eli Neal. Puck enters the zone. Wernick with possession. Wernick has Alvarez. Elliot Alvarez, goal! Pass from Wernick. Elliot Alvarez scored. 12:03 in the second. Nicholson comes out to take the face-off between Wernick and Kaiser. It's Brown and Neal and D. Puck comes over, Neal with pressure. Luke Brown back on D. Brown gets out. Goal by New Trier at 11:54. It like ran up his stick, it looked like, yeah. He looked like he stopped it, but it just ran like right up. Okay, so Nicholson, Kaiser, Donald in front, Neal and Brown on D. Nicholson chases. Nicholson knocks the puck away, gains possession in the far forward. Nicholson centers it. Donald wraps around, shot. Just wide, Nicholson now. Nicholson backhands it to Kaiser in the corner. Kaiser. Neal now. Neal gets it over to Nicholson. Nicholson to Donald. Donald sauces it into the net. Covered up by New Trier. Evanston changes up. It'll be Alvarez at the dot. Flanked by Lee and Wernick, Frizy and Miller at the blue line. Alvarez wins it to the corner, and Lee gets it. Lee pushes it back along, Alvarez goes over. Alvarez throws it back to Lee in the corner. Lee back up to the point. Frizy backhands it back off the board, down. Puck thrown down by New Trier. Icing is waved off. Miller goes back. Miller up to Wernick. Wernick up to Alvarez. Puck thrown in deep by New Trier. Frizy goes back. Frizy to Miller. Miller up to Wernick. Wernick throws it cross ice to Lee. Lee retrieves. Lee has it. Lee shot. Oh! Skipped right over to Wernick. He wasn't able to capitalize, unfortunately. Puck cleared out, Brown gets it. Neal up to Wernick. Wernick. Penalty on Wernick. 2 minutes for a cross check. Wernick cross-checking at 10:13 in the second. It'll be Brown and Neal, Nicholson, and Kaiser out there on the PK. Neal. Nicholson now with pressure on the puck. comes down. Saved by Feeney. Neal gets possession behind the net. Neal throws it up to Nicholson. Nicholson backhands it out of the zone. Kaiser with pressure. Puck thrown out of play by New Trier. Center ice face off. Same four stay out there: Nicholson, Kaiser, Brown, and Neal. Puck went back into the New Trier zone. Nicholson on the forecheck. Nicholson with pressure on the puck. Kaiser then Neal. Now Brown. Saved by Feeney. Wrapped up and covered by Feeney. Looks like changes for Evanston. Frizy and Miller come in on D. Donnell and Lee up front. Looks like it'll be Isaiah Donnell at the face-off dot. Shot covered up by Beatty. 1:16 left in the Evanston penalty kill. Frizy chases. Now Lee with pressure on the point. Deflected. Shot. Frizy behind the net. Now Miller. Frizy with pressure. Shot. It's deflected. Miller with pressure on the puck. Miller deflects it briefly, but New Trier gets it. Feeney covers up. 42 seconds left on the PK. Nicholson and Kaiser come out for up front. It's like Miller and Frizy stay on D. It'll be Nicholson taking the face-off. Puck knocked away by Kaiser. Now Nicholson loses possession. Knocked away. Miller comes up. Shot high by New Trier. Frizy in the corner, kicks it up. Comes back into the corner. Frizy hasn't wrapped up. Miller now. Miller gets it, throws it the length of the ice. 10 seconds left on the Evanston PK. Kaiser with the forecheck. Kaiser to the line. Nicholson intercepts at the blue line, backhands at the Kaiser. Kaiser tries to get it back to Nicholson. Donnell with the puck. Donnell skates it in. Kaiser goes behind. Luke Brown now along the boards. Brown throws it back in. Donnell. Shot. Neal comes up. Neal keeps it in to Donnell. Interference. Puck intercepted by Brown. Brown waits until Harlan can check up. Kaiser now. Kaiser skates in. Shot goal! Kaiser from the top of the circle. Nice. The goalie blocker shot. 3-1 at 7:33 in the second period. Bostwick and Lang come out at the wings. Elliot Alvarez at the center. Luke Brown and Eli Neal on D. Elliot wins the faceoff. Alvarez continues to put pressure on. Bostwick now. Bostwick along the boards, keeps it in. Alvarez backs him up. Two Elliots are in there. Scrumming, New Trier comes out with it. Puck comes down. Lang with pressure. Lang forces the offside. Oh no. Interference called on New Trier. 2 minutes for interference at 7:13 of the second. On new cheer, Evanston will have its first penalty. Power play. Jeez. Power play, it'll be Nicholson at the dot, Donald to his left, Kaiser to his right, Miller and Frizy on D. Nicholson wins it back to Frizy at the point. Frizy over to Kaiser. Kaiser along the boards, up to Nicholson. Nicholson. Corner where Donald is. Donald stick handles it out, gives it to Frizy. Frizy shot deflected. Good sheer save. Kaiser along the boards. Miller keeps it in. Now it's knocked out. Frizy gains possession. Frizy over to Miller. Miller up to Donald. Joel blocks it. Joel Frizy now. Frizy cross-ice to Donald. Donald backhands it to Nicholson. Nicholson cross-ice to Kaiser. Kaiser along the board, brings it in. Throws it deep. Goes to retrieve. New Trier clears. 54 seconds left on the power play. Neal now. Neal behind the net. Neal kicks it to Nicholson. Nicholson up ice. Oh, can't quite connect to Wernick. Icing on Evanston. Looks like it'll be Wernick and Lee. Wernick, Lee, Alvarez up front. Neal and Brown on D. Evanston has 42 seconds left on the power play. Alvarez, Brown along the boards in the corner. Backed up by Alvarez. Alvarez, backhands it behind his own net. Neal goes back to retrieve. Shot taken away by Luke Brown. Lee with a nice pass up to Wernick. Wernick, oh, can't quite hold on to. Puck was rotating there on its head. Couldn't quite get possession. Brown skates it in. Brown surveys. Brown up to Alvarez. New Trier is at full strength. Wernick now. Lee prevents that clearing attempt. Alvarez, oh. Saved by Beanie on the breakaway. Beanie with a heck of a save on that breakaway. 4:48 left in the second. Evanston changes up. It'll be Shulkin, Kress, and Veland up front. Miller and Frizy on D. Shulkin takes the face-off. Shulkin ties it up. Puck drifts back to Beanie, who covers. Same five. Shulkin tosses it out of his own. Press on the forecheck. Press the pressure on the puck. Shulkin comes up. Miller at center, throws it in. Press the pressure on the puck. Shulkin now. Puck comes down Miller's side on New. New Trier throws it in deep, wraps it around to the far board. Press regains possession, skates it over the blue. New Trier throws it in from the neutral zone. Frizy off the boards to Veland. Press now. Miller up to Shulkin. Shulkin along the far boards. Miller holds it in. Evanston was offside. Tried to tag off. getting quite the good down. Evanston changes up. Looks like it'll be Nicholson, Kaiser, and Donald up front. Neal and Brown on the blue line. Nicholson wings it back to Brown. Brown lasers it in along the boards, wraps around. Donald on the short board. Puck comes out. Icing is waved off, so Brown goes back to retrieve in the short corner. Brown stays with it. Pass it up to Kaiser. Kaiser is knocked away briefly, gains possession back in the D zone. Shot kicked away by Feeney. Kaiser gets it out to the point. Interior. Shot from the point goes off Feeney's mask. Brown passes it up to Nicholson. Nicholson skates it out. Nicholson at the red. Into the O. Behind the net. Nicholson surveys. Centering pass. Oh, almost goes off the neutral D. Kaiser in the corner. Nicholson on the short board. Backhands it to Donald behind the net. Kaiser along the board. Gains possession. Takes it back. Keeps it in. Nicholson. Neal. Passes up to Donald. Donald centers. Neal pitchforks it forward in the neutral zone. Shear takes it back. Luke Brown intercepts, throws it in deep. Evanston goes to wholesale changes. Freisey now. Freisey with pressure. Knocks it away, takes it. Lee, Wernick now. Wernick to Alvarez. Alvarez into the offensive zone. Puck is knocked away. Puck comes down Freisey's side. Freisey forces him wide. Lane pass. Feeney covers it. Looks like Evanston will stick with these five for the next face-off. Lee, Wernick, Alvarez at the dot, Miller and Freisey. Alvarez wins it over to Freisey. Out to the point. Shot is deflected by Lee. Freisey with pressure. Puck popped up. Freisey tries to get out to Lee. Shot saved by Feeney. Another face off to the right of Thomas Feeney. Same five on the ice for Evanston. Lee skates it out, tries a self-pass, gets it. Lee, shot, rebound. Oh. Monsieur takes it out. Miller knocks puck clear down. Monsieur at the point. Miller with pressure, Miller knocks it away. Puck goes up, out of play. If that was a penalty on Wernick right there for a cross-check, then that had to be a penalty down there too. Okay, Evanston changes up completely. It'll be Brown and Neal on the D. Yeah, it's getting better. Kaiser throws it off the boards and down. Icing's waved off. Nicholson on the forecheck. Donald tries to pass to Kaiser. Neutral zone. Brown. Luke Brown up to Kaiser. Kaiser skates around. Gets it, shot, deflected high into the protected net. back to Kaiser. Brown skates it in, Nicholson. Kaiser, Nicholson. Nicholson shot. Deflected in the corner. Nicholson backhands it behind the net to Brown. End of the second period. Evanston up 3-1. Okay, start of the third period. Nicholson, Donald, and Kaiser up front, Brown and Neal. Neal comes up, puts pressure on the puck. Neal with pressure on the puck. Neal knocks it away. Same five will stay. Oh no. Nicholson, Donald, Kaiser up front now. Miller and Frizy underneath. Pressure. No, tip. Just wide. Kaiser goes over the boards. Nicholson now. Nicholson skates it out. Nicholson gets wrapped up with the linesman. Kaiser throws it in. He goes to chase in the corner. Nicholson now. Puck thrown out again near the New Trier bench. Face off to the right of the New Trier goalie. Same five stay on the ice for the face off. Nicholson wins it back to Donald. Donald shot with Nicholson. Pops up to the New Trier glove. Same five stay on the ice. Controls, throws it to himself on the long board, tries the backhander, gets by Miller, Frizy goes back, Frizy off the back to Miller skates up to Kaiser, Nicholson. Miller now. Miller throws it into the zone, not deep. Frizy steps up. Now Nicholson in the corner. Frizy knocks it away. Miller off the boards. Donald on the forecheck. Neal off the boards. Evanston checks up. Wernick intercepts the pass. Shot just high by New Trier. Deflected shot goes just wide. Now Neal behind the net. Neal in the battle. Neal has possession along the board. Alvarez comes in to help. Now back to Neil, and Neil gets it up to Wernick. Wernick centers it to Lee. Intercept. Brown blocks that shot. Alvarez tries to get out. Wernick gets it out of the zone. Pushes it forward into the zone. Tries to stay with it. Tightly lit. Brown throws it gently forward to Wernick. Wernick. Brown skates it in. Brown. Pass. Drake Alvarez. Oh! Nice save by Newspear. Brown now. Brown on the forecheck. Donald goes back to retrieve the puck. Donald. Shot blocked by Donald. Retriever's tip just wide. Miller goes back. Retriever has possession. Miller on the boards, backed up by Nealon. Nealon not getting off the puck. Gets it over to Donald. Donald to Nealon. Nealon. Miller backs it up to Nealon. Nealon gets the puck in deep. Nealon chases, wins the race. Throws it over to Donald. Donald centers to Kaiser. Can't quite get it. Freising. Miller. Freising. Kaiser. Donald. Up towards Nealon. Icing on Evanston. Alvarez, Wernick, and Lee up front. Freising and Miller at D. Alvarez at the dot. Alvarez ties it up, kicks it over. Alvarez takes it, gets back to the point. Shot, saved, and covered by Feeney. Will stay out there for Evanston. Wernick. Knocked away, saved by Feeney. Puck knocked out by Alvarez. Miller now on the board. Miller throws it. Icing is waved off. Lee wins the race. Lee takes to the far corner. Staples it up along the boards. Retriever pops it loose. Wernick gets it, throws it back behind the net. Alvarez. Miller keeps it in with his skate. Now throws it in deep. Evanston going for a few changes. Lee with the pressure on the puck. Now Brown. Neal. That was press. Now Alvarez. Press. Alvarez. Throws it down on net. Retriever, press on the forecheck. There's Brown stepping up. Ethan Shulkin along the boards, backed up by Nealon. Nealon comes away with it. Nealon enters the offensive zone and throws it in deep. Press with pressure, knocks the puck away. Press again along the backboard. Press below the goal line. Now Shulkin adds pressure along with Nealon. Neal steps up, knocks the puck in. Nealon, press the shot is blocked by Retriever. Press. Nealon, Shulkin. Press comes down now. Brown, shot, gets in on net, and covered up by Retriever. Like Nicholson, Donald, and Kaiser come out. Brown and Neal stay at the blue line. Trier skates out of the zone on Neal's side. Neal applies pressure. Neal takes him off the puck. Donald now. Kaiser. Kaiser's clearing attempt is tipped. And Trier centering. Shot is deflected wide. Nicholson comes out of it in the corner. Skates it out. Gets it to Donald at center ice. Donald enters the zone. Donald, centering pass. Nicholson knocks man off the puck, takes the puck away. Nicholson skates it. Nicholson. Puck knocked away. Frizzy comes down. Frizzy shot in the far corner. Miller keeps it in and throws it in deep. Kaiser. Down to Nicholson. Kaiser goes down to help. Frizzy steps up, keeps it in. Keeps it in again and throws it in the corner where Nicholson is. Nicholson comes away with it, centering pass. Comes out to Kaiser. Kaiser gets bumped off. Puck comes down Frizzy's side. Frizzy knocks it away, skates to the puck, gets it. Kaiser now. Kaiser gets it along the boards, it goes to chase. Kaiser. Kaiser kicks it to the short corner. McDonald's, ooh. Frizzy, shot. Right. Miller now on. Wernick curls, keeps possession, skates it in. Wernick, shot. Saved by Trier. Alvarez in the corner. Gets it to Wernick behind the net. Wernick shot, saved. Second one is covered up by Trier. Brown and Neal on the back. Lee, Wernick, and Alvarez up front. Cleared out by Trier. 4-9. Same five stay on the ice. Puck comes over to Lee. Lee with pressure on the puck. Thrown up by Trier. 4-9. So did my back. Same five stay on the ice again. Alvarez at the dot. Trier skates in, takes it. Neal knocks it away to Wernick. Wernick keeps it in and throws it down the corner. Lee now. Titus Lee changes direction. Neal knocks the puck away from the Trier player. Alvarez with pressure on the puck. Now Lee. Now Brown. Lee. Puck goes back in. Brown. Backhands it around. Loads to Neal. Eli Neal up to Wernick. He deflects it out. Alvarez on the forecheck as a lot of Evanston changes off. Frizzy on the puck carrier. Miller intercepts the pass, leaves it for Kaiser. Kaiser skates it out. Tripping on Trier at 4:33 of the third period. Evanston on the power play. Face off to the right of the Trier goalie. It looks like a stick with Nicholson, Donald, and Kaiser, Frizzy, and Miller. Nicholson wins it over to Donald. Donald, Frizy. Frizy sends it to Nicholson. Puck comes out to Miller. Miller's shot deflected by Kaiser. Kaiser fighting for it in the boards. Kaiser comes away with it, changes direction, throws it out to Miller. Miller back to Nicholson. Nicholson over to Frizy. Frizy at the top of the circle, up to Donald. Miller down to Nicholson. Nicholson off the boards to Miller. Miller off the boards deep to Donald. Donald sending his foul. Kaiser's shot is blocked. Miller comes up. Puck comes down to Donald. Puck gets out of the zone in the neutral zone, but Frizy takes possession. Nicholson now. Nicholson behind the net. Some changes. Pass up to Kaiser. Donald on the forecheck. Brown with pressure on the puck carrier. Neal. Now Brown. Lee blocks the shot. Lee skates down with it. Titus Lee. Puck knocked away. Lee pass to Alvarez. Alvarez's pass is blocked. He's clear. 10 seconds left on the Evanston power play. Feeney out to Neal. Neal cross ice to Titus Lee. Nutrier at full strength. Lee with pressure on the puck carrier. Alvarez chases. Now Brown. Alvarez backhands it. Here's Brown now. Saved by Feeney. Nicholson in the corner. Brown. Oh, Feeney. Nice bad save to the left. Neal. Neal pass up to Nicholson. Wernick gets it out. It was all. Nutrier waiting to check up. Jumps it in. Nutrier has 6 men on the ice as they pull their goalie. Eli Neal. Saved twice by Feeney. Feeney closes that corner now. Timeout called by Nutrier. 1:31 left in the game. Okay, 1:31 left in the third period. Face-off will be to the left of Feeney. Looks like Nutrier is keeping their goalie off, so it'll be 5-on-6. It'll be Nicholson, Kaiser, Donald, Frizy, and Miller. Excuse me, Brown and Miller. Nicholson wraps it up, Donald. Kaiser with pressure, now Donald with pressure. Kaiser, puck knocks off Kaiser. Kaiser chases. Donald now with pressure on the puck. Nicholson. Kaiser intercepts. Nicholson. Miller. Nicholson. Nicholson takes it. Nicholson throws it down. Slowly. Icing. Oh. Man, they milked that. 53 seconds left. New sure keeps the 6 men on the ice. Looks like Evanston will stay with the same 5. Nicholson at the dot. Nicholson wins it back to Brown. Brown throws it off the backboard. Oh, shot saved by Steve. Big scrum in front. Brown. Miller now. Miller with the puck. Miller gets it out. Final with pressure. Nicholson knocks it away. Donald gets it. Isaiah Donald shoots, scores. Donald gets the insurance with 20 seconds left. Looks like same 5 will stay out for Evanston. Lucier puts the goalie back in. Oh, change it up. It'll be Lang, Veland, and Bostwick out there. Along with Brown and Miller. Brown, Miller comes over. Bostwick up to Veland. Veland gets it forward. Puck goes down to Luke Brown. Evanston wins 4-1. Evanston will be in the championship on Sunday at 3 o'clock against the winner of the next game, either Lake Forest or Yeti. I thought you were pointing at only 111.
No.
That was a quick game. I didn't even notice that. Did you?
No.